everybody, it's Bernadette Wagner. Welcome to Prime Time for Women's Mindful Monday. It's my pleasure today to introduce Evelyn Lyons. She is passionate about green living, looking to make a toxin-free environment in her home and abroad, and even beyond, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And I know that everybody has a story, and I was wondering if there's a particular story that drives your passion, if there was an incident that helped you to kind of define your passion.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually, sorry, all the notifications are coming through.
Oh, great.
I actually I'm a mom of three. I'm a young mom, and I have three of them. I've got a 9-year-old, 4-year-old. Got to remember because they're all about to turn that next number.
That next year.
Yeah, exactly. And a 3-year-old. And it all started with my first child, who is now 9. We had a pretty normal, I guess you would call it, pregnancy, but I had no idea what I was doing. It was my first child. I wasn't aware of the toxin-free life that I currently live. But it all started with him. Some delivery things went a little awry, but with the years, I started to realize that my son had really odd difficulties with sensory. And so I quickly then went and started researching, I started questioning the doctors and saying, the funny part is that it happened, all these side effects that he was getting. And what I mean by side effects was he was very easily thrown off by like a t-shirt, jeans, getting a haircut, certain water touching, like the levels of water, everything started to come awry. And so I started to ask questions, and the doctors would say, he'll grow out of it, and it was right after his vaccinations that we had some issues where this came about, and I started to do more research. As he got older, we started to have difficulties at school with concentration. We started to realize that what we were eating could also alternate his behavior. We quickly started to pull things out of his diet. So, for example, artificial dyes we would take out. We noticed even more recently, like gluten would really affect him. And so we started to maneuver in that area. What it turned out to be is that he has something called sensory processing disorder. A doctor finally gave him a diagnosis at 4 years old. And it's a neurological disorder. They don't really know where it comes from yet, but if you look at the science and the research behind it, it looks a lot of things could have been the cause of it, whether it be vaccines, whether it be ingredients that I was taking in, for example, nitrates and nitrites. When I was pregnant with him, because I ate a lot of deli meat, it could have been anything. It could have been, when he was delivered. So all these things started adding up. And so slowly we started to take things out of our home. And we started to really be aware of what we were eating, putting on our body.
So was your son's, his diagnosis that really propelled you into a broader,
yes.
Not just looking at what you're eating, but a broader consideration. So besides food, what are some of the other areas that our viewers might want to consider in their environment?
Sure. So a lot of things that we usually consider, from our perspective, what we did is we took out food. We reduced our chemicals in our home. And so we took out any conventional cleaners in our home. We also started to decrease the amount of plastic in our home. Not only does it help the environment, but a lot of people are unaware that there are some toxicities to plastic that can cause to our body. So we reduced that. We changed the way we ate. We went organic, non-GMO. And then the last one that we were really not aware of that really brightened my eyes, because I had it didn't even cross my mind. I was shopping at like our local co-op, and I thought, hey, you know what? We've done all that. So now we're shopping at our local co-op, and I'm buying our shampoos, our toothpaste, our conditioners, our deodorants. I mean, anything that was personal care, cosmetics. I was buying it all there thinking that it was safe because it was in a health store. Surely then I realized it wasn't.
Right. So, Evelyn, do you have a business? And tell us a little bit about your business name and how people can find out more about it.
Sure. So I actually brand myself as Zeal for Clean Living Mama. I educate on green beauty primarily.
And makeup products and personal care?
Yes. So we actually, I'm an affiliate or an advocate of a company called Crunchy, which is a high performance cosmetic and skincare line. They're going to be expanding into a whole house line. We're not quite there yet, but that is who I do who I've learned from. I've learned a lot in the last couple of years, but more so in the last 2 years since I've been with them. I've been able to, they've really opened up the broad of light as far as how much more toxicity there is with all areas of our life. And so they provide a high performance cosmetic line as well. They're very eco-cautious. So they, all of our packaging is going to be eco-friendly, or it's going to be geared to zero waste. And we really thrive on educating as far as toxin-free living and what that looks like.
Okay, well, I'm so glad that you tuned in today, because there might be some viewers who watch this either as a video clip or tune in now. If they have questions, please feel free to ask us a question. But in particular, for people who watch this later, can you tell us how people can reach you and where they can see the products that you have?
Sure. So I have a Facebook community called Zeal for Clean Living. That is where I do all of my education. I speak on the lack of regulation in our cosmetics and personal care. Most people don't realize that the FDA does not control that. Cosmetics and skincare are not considered a drug. So I do talk about that. As well for ingredient knowledge, how to learn to read labels, and also not, one very important aspect that I speak about in the group is how to learn what greenwashing looks like, because there are so many companies out there. They might claim we're cruelty free, we're non-toxic. There are big differences between non-toxic and toxin free. And there are other companies that, are cleaner companies, but they're still using preservatives like phenoxyethanol, fragrance, and then grapefruit seed extract. And so in that community, I have a lot of education about that, and also about green beauty and the line that I represent, Crunchy. Mm-hmm.
Great. So, and do you have an email address that people can reach out to you?
Yes. The address is zeal, so ZEAL, to clean @gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, I so appreciate your time. Just before we leave, I just wanted to ask you to highlight again the 3 things that you think are most important for people to consider in living a toxin-free life.
The three things would be, one, that there is a lack of regulation. So whether it's your food, whether it's your personal care, whether it's,
Cleaning
the
products.
doctor, yeah, anything pretty much, there's a lack of regulation. So that would then move forward to being knowledged as far as the importance of ingredient knowledge, and finding sources that can give you data, like actual data research to prove behind it, because anyone can make a claim of anything. And then the third one would be greenwashing, the importance of being able to skept out what is actually safe and what is actually just marketing in all areas, and maneuvering that.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Evelyn. We will post this on Prime Time for Women's Facebook page, and hopefully all those people in your community can take it and share it so that we amplify your message in trying to help us all live a healthier and better lifestyle. That's
Awesome.
what Mindful Monday is all about, and I'm so glad that you were able to join us.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's what I love doing.
Okay. All right. Take care and enjoy your children. See ya.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.